Hello everyone, you are welcome to Express Politics on TVRC. I'm your host for today. My name is Abiola Michael, and with me in the studio is our guest speaker, Dr. Akintunde Somi Vincent. Welcome, sir.
Thank you.
It's good to have you once again.
Same here.
And today we are going to be speaking on the cabals in Tinubu'S government. First of all, before we dive into it, what do you understand by the word cabal?
Cabal, this ordinarily, when you talk about cabal, there are a group of people who control a particular geographical enclave.
Okay.
You know, they are just there to. Sometimes they are called the oligarchs, or some of their reasons for coming together is for a particular to serve particular interest.
Yes.
And that's why they are often referred to as cabals.
Cabal. Okay, so towards a goal.
They have a particular interest.
All right. So can you help us identify the cabals in Tinubu'S government?
I don't know. Do you know any of them?
I'm asking the question.
Okay.
I'm asking the question. Like, can you
ordinarily,
like
cabals ordinarily,
okay.
It's not something that any government can shy away from.
Okay.
And even some organization, they make do with cabals. Just that it has become, considering our situation in Africa, that's why we see cabals as a big deal.
Okay.
If by chance you travel to the US or you travel to the UK, notice that even among political parties there are cabals. Like among the Democrats and the Republicans, there are cabals. And when you come to even our own political parties here in Nigeria, even among the PDPs, there are cabals. I mean, also in the ruling party or Progressive Congress.
Okay.
So when you talk about the cabals in the government, in the Tinubu'S government, anybody that works with the government could be referred to as one.
As one.
Anybody that works with the president could be referred to as one.
Okay.
But why is it a big deal for us in Nigeria? I will give you one practical example.
Okay.
Take a look at the petroleum sector. At the point in time we talk about the subsidy removal, some people were actually believed to be receiving this subsidy.
Okay.
The money accrued to subsidy. It is believed that it was some people who were receiving that money, and popularly we were referred to as cabals. That were the cabals who were actually changing the destiny of this country at the detriment of their own personal interest. So, like I said, cabal has to do with interest. Okay, but oftentimes it's when it's not too, when the goings appears not to be too appealing to the face.
Okay.
When the situation seems to be very ugly, that's when people want to talk about the particular set of people who are somewhere. They are called, sometimes they are referred to as the kleptocrats.
Okay.
Some they are referred to as the oligarchs.
Okay.
Some they are referred to as they are also referred to as the men of the dark.
The men of the dark.
Who operate, who oftentimes they are always with veil. You can't pinpoint, you can't even mention their name.
All right. So you are saying they are unknown, but majorly, what do their ideologies or their interests represent?
Like I said, it's always towards a particular interest.
Okay.
Look, I just give a practical example.
Okay, but we are focusing on Tinubu'S government now.
When you look at the government, oftentimes look at what happened. Like, I will not want to mention him here, but I think your guesses are as good as mine. Take a look at those who work with Buhari, who are eventually working with Tinubu at the moment. They were there during the 8-year rot. I mean, the 8-year backwardness, because that government, I don't want to. It has if you're able to do proper analysis, that you will know that things really went haywire during that government. It was that government that President Jonathan handed over to that government.
Yes.
And the cost of petroleum, the cost of PMS when Jonathan was about handing over was less than 200 naira, 180 something naira. That same government till date, they are still the same All Progressive Congress. No, we are buying PMS for 1,000 plus. Now 945 naira, and they expect us to be dancing to the gallery because it's 945 naira or 950 naira. So, like I said, those who work under the past administration, some of them are, in short, I wouldn't want to mention, like I wouldn't want to mention them.
Okay.
Some of them are still working under this government. So most likely, if they are not giving the president the right information, if they are not advising the president rightly, then it is presumed that these are people who put themselves together, and then we cannot but call them some cabal. We cannot but call them cabals. Don't know if you get it straight up.
Understand. All right. Now, straight up to the next question now, Doctor. Thank you for that. So, to what extent do these cabals, in quotes, in Tinubu's government influence his decision-making processes?
Yeah, it's because, see, he who pays the piper calls the shot, dictates the tune. It's when you call them cabals, when you talk about interest, I mean, when you talk about to what extent,
yeah, they influence decision-making.
It's just the issue of interest. Give a madman O. You will see when he's hipping the sound, he will definitely hip the sound towards himself. A man who is in the government knows why he's in the government. Yeah. Most of them are there for their own personal interest, and that's why you see eventually when they are out of the government, some of them can categorically boast off, boast off. When you look at their financial capability, it is equivalent to that of when you want to talk about the world index of billionaires, silent billionaires, because over time they've been able to serve their own interest. They've been able to make sure that their interests come to play while they were still in government, and that's why you say some of them while they were still. No, they made reference to Abacha back in time in retrospect when he was still the then head of state. Do you know that the money is sent outside the shores of this country? We are still receiving it back.
Yeah, the loot.
These are the poor antecedents, the poor foundations that have been laid over time for our successive government, and that's why some of them are following suit. That's why you see, even under President Jonathan, we saw a minister then who packed a whole lot of money to the extent that till date we are still recovering that money back. And I wouldn't even want to. It's not that it's on the broad stream. It's on the mainstream media. Okay. The then Minister of Petroleum, the Minister of the then Minister Alice Madueke was not under the same that same administration where we talk about the Dasuki Gate, the money that is supposed to use to procure arms that they were sending it to their own personal account. All manner of corrupt. Even none have been probed. I don't know how his government will resume and will not probe it. How many people have been probed in the last administration? All the ministers that were there during the last, how many have been probed? So these are people who were in government because of their own interest, and over time they've mastered the game. While they were before leaving, they form a cacophony, a caucus of people that eventually they paraded themselves as cabal to change the destiny of the nation, to silence who should be silenced because of their own interest, to make sure that some people will never emerge as a leading figure just because of their interest. So like you said, to what extent it's at the detriment of the people towards their own personal goal and interest.
All right, so now you are going to agree with me that it has impacted the country's governance in a negative way?
Of course, in a very terrible way. Like I said, when a king, the emergence of a king, a good king,
yes,
brings joy to the heart of the people. But the emergence of a terrible king, saddens the heart of the people. So when you look at over time, all those people, that's why when you see those who run our government in Nigeria, this has become a lucrative business. That some people, what they are known for, they will tell you, even while they are in government, they will make sure that they have enough money that will make sure that will help them to run their next campaign. Either they are in government the moment people are in government, they will always be planning to make sure that even if they are going to vie for another position, what they will use for that position, they will make sure they have been able to gather it while they are still in government. That's been the acrimony. I mean, that's been the situation over time.
Okay.
So, like your question,
the impact.
Most of the impact has been so negative.
So you can't pinpoint a positive thing that these cabals have done so far. So
what positive thing can the man in the dark put on the table of the
anyway, I just had to ask anyway.
That's no right.
Let's forge ahead. So now, the presence of these cabals now, What do you think as
funny enough, sorry, let me quickly interject, let me quickly butt in.
all right, go ahead.
The dichotomy between the present day cabal and the cabal of few years ago is that this present day cabals, they are intellectually sophisticated. You know, the then cabal, they are just people who just put themselves together to make sure that okay, then it was called national cake. No, it is no longer called national cake. No, it is what we call let's smoke the screen. They are not smoking the screen, and when they smoke the screen, you can barely see what's happening inside. You would think they are working, but they know what they are doing. A very good example again to note that all these people, see, you cannot hide. Recently, we have some of our ministers whose children, you know, graduated from how many of them graduated from Nigeria University?
Hardly do we see a minister of Nigeria.
What will report up recently where you will see all their kids, the senators, most of them, their kids, they all finished from what's it called, from the Western world. So, like I said, they are all smoking the screen for us to believe that they are doing something worthwhile. But, you know, a criminal remains a criminal over time, and a cabal remains a cabal.
I really wish you could mention names and pinpoint who these cabals are.
Maybe you, but helping me wouldn't be out of place anyway.
I don't know them honestly. You are the speaker here. All right, let's move on. Now, how might the presence of these cabals affect the transparency and the accountability of Tinubu's government? Because you know that we are in a government of democracy. So has it been democratic so far?
Well, when you're talking about how, sorry, come again.
Yeah, the presence of these cabals, how has it affected the transparency and the accountability of Tinubu's government?
See, when you look at those who were with the then president, the President Muhammadu Buhari,
yes,
their names appear to be inconsequential. Their names appear to be insignificant. Under President Jonathan, only few, because of the level of corruption that happened under his regime. But it impacted the life of the people. Because I remember even it was at the forefront of the Almajiri schools. The money that he ought to have spent in the southern part, he pumped everything back there into the north so that he could get re-election. But eventually, some part that make sure that make sure that the man did not come back. Okay. They make sure that he did. So after Jonathan, then Obasanjo, those who were his ministers, those who appeared to the ministerial portfolios given to certain individual under Obasanjo regime, their names appear to be insignificant or inconsequential. What am I saying in essence is that when you look at the question again, you're talking about
the transparency and
how it has affected. That's why the president must be very wise. That you have to be on the side of the people. But the moment you are on the side of the cabal, that you're on the side, and this cabal again, we are talking about cabal here. We have internal cabal, we also have external cabals. For example, take a look at this World Bank.
Okay.
Take a look at IMF. Some of them you want to procure loan, they want to give you loans under, certain conditions.
Yes.
I remember there was a time the issue of LGBTQ, they raised the issue of LGBTQ. And Nigeria was being told to sign a particular thing that they will. But eventually, Nigerians, we all raised alarm that no, if that's what you want us to do, we'll not do it. Because we are cultured.
Yes.
We are very cultured. So we won't want to, bend under because we want to do something. You want to call, you want to start calling cow, big brother or what. So it's uncalled for.
Yes.
So like I said, the president must be very smart.
Okay.
Like, the transparency of your government is highly quintessential. The credibility of your government is very germane. Now you have to make sure you position yourself so that posterity will be there to judge you right.
Yes.
But in case you refuse, you want to kowtow in the poho of this cabals, eventually you'll be out of office, and posterity will be there to trash you off. So it was during your regime that we buy petroleum for 1,200. During your regime we buy petroleum for 940 because of people want to make money from petroleum. As a president, why not make life better for people? If the petroleum you want to sell it for 500 naira, 600 naira, which is still very much fair, even for 300 naira is still very much okay. Look for other means to get money. I was it on program this morning I talked about. I said even we've not been able to, you know, I mean to make sure to we've not been able to lay our hands enough on our solid minerals in this country. I just made mention of something. I said lithium is the future of the world. Everything, all the technology, they all make do with batteries.
Batteries, yes.
To the extent that even in the very short while, even our cars will be, it's going to be with batteries.
Batteries.
And here in Nigeria, we have the largest deposit of lithium in
What?
Nasarawa here.
Wow.
When you check the batteries, they will tell you they are lithium battery.
Yes,
that's the element. We have the largest residue, the largest reserve in Nigeria. Why not make a whole lot of money? Look at, we have beautiful stones that we don't even know the benefit. We have sands that you won't even find anywhere. When we go to the deposit of solid minerals we have in this country, and funny enough, the incumbent minister of solid minerals, I won't mention him, he's very silent about this thing. We also have other areas. We talked about livestock. Do you know the number of cows that our people from the north are, you know, they are rearing? Do you know how much we can make from that livestock? We are not even investing on it. And I said, when you travel to the US, when you go to the Texas, they are called the popular slogans of cowboy. It is when you see the way they dress up. When you look at their cow, the number of, when you want to weigh their cow, you know, it's very heavy and very, you know, very expensive. They are able to think outside the box, but we here, we behave like people that are hybrid. You know, we are not. The level of digital is very minute, and it's because of the leadership. Leadership. How many things are we crossbreeding? Even in the Western world, they can crossbreed tiger and lion together.
Yes.
That's why we have liger. You have all manner of animals, very expensive. We have cats that you would think the cat is a dog. You know, and when you want to go and look at the cost of that particular cat, very expensive. But here we are not. What are we producing? We produce cement. We make it very expensive for ourselves. That's why we have housing problem. How many housing is government giving to the people? Now look at the states. How many housing properties are there for the state to benefit? Only few. It's just like a tip of an iceberg in the murky water. Look at our transportation. How much is the government? How much are they paying on the transport? Even the moment the prices jumped up, they never come down.
It never comes down.
So take a look at everything. These are issues here and there.
All right. I believe that we have spoken much more on the issues. Now let's go to the measures that can be taken in order for us to ensure that this government remains answerable to the people. You know, it has to be for the people's interest. So what are the measures that can be put in place?
The measure that can put in place is not far-fetched. Number one, you need to have a leader that has a heart of the people.
Okay, that's the first thing.
That's a patriotic leader.
Okay.
A patriot par excellence.
Okay.
Like I said, I just made mention. I said, do you know till date we have leaders who are putting on the cap of Obafemi Awolowo, the round cap. And I'll give good example. The then governor of Ondo State, Governor Olusegun Mimiko. Check his outfit. Every time he's always he referred to himself as an Awoist. We still have Awoist to date. We have people still want to make reference, who wants to make reference to Nnamdi Azikiwe, to the Sultan of Sokoto, the Sultan of Sokoto, then Ahmadu Bello. You know, we have people who wants to these are people who these are patriots par excellence. Not this kind of government, all this caricature because of high service. Everybody's not putting a particular this logo on their cap now because they want to, you know, share a sense of belonging with the incumbent. But the point is, are Nigerians feeling the dividends of this current democracy? Where was it called? Where the dollar is still 1,500. 1,500. The PMS, when they reduce 15 naira from it, they want us to be happy. That's the gallery. PMS that you met at 300 naira. It's not sold for 900 or something naira. Wow. And you still think Nigerians are foolish. You think Nigerians are not watching. So what is there to be? What is there for us to say? What is the celebration about? When even ASU, they are crying. It's quite. We've got to check the dailies of yesterday that this government they are killing. They want to kill the educational system. That's what they are crying. And even the minimum wage, not all states have the implementation is still very much a caricature.
Yes.
Even at the federal level, how many have received the minimum wage? How many? Not to talk of state, not to talk of the state government.
Level, yeah.
And the error is that you are not using the money that's supposed to fatten to feed the people. You are not using it to feed the governors. And you think the governors, they are answerable to the most. How many people will remember the governor? But everybody will always make reference to the president.
All right, thank you, Doctor. That was a very, very powerful one. Well, just like Doctor said, but before we round up, I would like you to put out a message out there for the Cabals in Tinubu's government on the final notes.
I so much of this belief that a good man will always do a good thing.
Okay.
A good man will always want to see when, like I said when the righteous man, ascend the throne of his father, everybody will clap. Everybody will be very, everybody will definitely be very joy. Everybody will be joyful. Let me put it that way. Everybody will die. In short, they will make merry when the righteous man, is enthroned or assumed the throne. But when a bad man is at the helm of affair, it saddens the heart of the people.
Yes.
So for the Cabals, like I said, this life is transient. Is in continuum, but it has an expiation. Posterity will judge everybody. The essence of you having money is to make sure that you raise. I still remember this popular slogan that we rise by lifting others.
Yes.
We rise by lifting others.
Yes.
But when you rise and you make sure that you want people to remain at the bottom of the ladder, then that's a very terrible one.
Yes, very terrible.
And this is what some of the Cabals are doing. They want to make sure they control, they want to manipulate, they want to meander, they want to make sure that people are subservient to them. And that's why people want people to see them as rankadidi every time. Give them peanuts. Throw the crumbs on the floor for people to. I mean, this is, like I said, today we are still remembering Awolowo because of that. It's often even referred to as a sage in Nigeria political parlance. Because of, look at those who enjoy basic education, they are the one increasing the university fee, tuition fee.
Yeah.
Is it not a paradox? Is it not quite funny that those who enjoy the dividends of democracy, they are the one punishing the people from those who protested back in time in retrospect, they are the one clamping down on protesters. Isn't that funny? This is the kind of situation we find ourselves. So like I said, posterity will always be there to judge everybody.
All right, thank you so much, Doctor. You have said a lot, and I believe that you have been able to break down this whole topic on the Cabals in Tinubu's government. Just like you rightfully said, the president should have the people's interest at heart. If he does, then every action he takes, every decision he makes will be in the interest of the people. That's a wonderful one. Thank you once again, and I really appreciate you for coming on the show. All right, viewers, here you have it. This is where we're going to be drawing the curtain today on Express Politics on TVLC. Until next time, bye for now. I remain your humble host, Abiola Michael. See you next time.